I'm so embarrassed right now. Hello everyone, my name is Olivia and welcome to my channel. So this is my first ever YouTube video. I've never made anything for YouTube. I'm just a very avid watcher. Very excited. And today we'll be doing the BookTube Newbie Tag. I'm referencing my questions that I wrote down, so if you see me looking down, that's why. But we're going to be doing the BookTube Newbie Tag. I thought it'd be a great way to start this off. It's going to be a great way to kind of get to know me a little bit and about why I love reading and why I'm excited to kind of go on this journey of starting a BookTube channel. It's just something that I've always kind of wanted to do, but I've always been a little scared. I'm still a little scared, I'm not gonna lie. But you know what? We're gonna bite the bullet and we're just gonna do it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Well, I started this channel because I have always watched BookTube. I had no idea it was a thing until I was in like high school maybe. And I've always loved to read. I've always been a very avid reader. And then when I found that there was a community online that was talking about books, I was like, this place is for me. I gotta check this out. And I fell in love. I was able to discover a lot more books than I would have been able to discover if I hadn't kind of had those people to kind of look at that were reading similar things or that were reading things that I was very interested in. I didn't have a lot of reader friends growing up. I think maybe just like one group. I just really liked the BookTube community. It was just like a support system of people who just love to read and talk about books. And I was like, that sounds like a great place for me to be a part of. Question number 2, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to YouTube? Well, BookTube is a growing community. There are lots of people on BookTube, but I think we're lacking major representation for our historical fiction lovers. If you are out there, let me know. If you are a channel that talks about historical fiction, let me know. I am a big historical fiction fan. I love it. I love to get my hands on anything that has any amount of history in it. So I'd love to talk about that and have discussions about historical fiction. Just want to talk about a wide variety of things, about books and how books play a part in our lives. That's what I'm really interested in mostly. Question number 3, what are you most excited about starting your channel? Well, I am really excited about the community aspect of BookTube. I'm excited to connect with other people, whether that be virtually or whether that be family, friends, educators, other colleagues, people who write books, they have a name, authors, librarians, people in the bookish world. I just want to talk to everybody and anybody. I really love to see the role that reading and books plays a part in people's lives, and I'd love to have those conversations, especially on this channel. I think that would be a really great time. Question number 4, why do you love reading? Well, of course, there's the general answer of like, it's an escape and you get to go to places you never thought you'd get to go to. You get to experience things that you never thought you'd get to experience, which is true. I mean, of course, I love to just escape in a book. There's no better feeling than finding a book that you love and reading it and just falling into that world. But it's something that I've always loved. I must be genetically predisposed to reading or something, because my grandma is a big reader, my dad's a big reader, and now I'm the big reader in the family. So it's just, I can't remember a time where I had never really gravitated towards books. It's just something that I've always just loved. It's a great time. It's a great pastime too. Who doesn't love to read, right? Question number 5, what book series got you into reading? Well, you know, I don't think it was a specific book series that really got me into reading. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I've always kind of have been really drawn to books and have always been drawn to reading. It's something that I've always just really loved to do. So there wasn't a particular book series. However, I have it right here since we're filming in front of my lovely bookshelf. This book right here, Bella at Midnight. This was the first book that I ever read, and I was either a 2nd or 3rd grader. My older sister had read it, and she's like, Olivia, you should read this book. And I did. It's kind of a Cinderella retelling, and this book really kind of jump-started everything for me. After I read this, I just wanted to read all the time, and it was the gateway into my reading obsession. But when it comes to book series, I remember in 5th grade I had like my little friend group. It was like me and like 3 other girls, and we were like the readers. And so I mean, I don't think we called ourselves that, but we just read a lot in class. And so we read Harry Potter, of course. That was a big series for me growing up. We read Sweet Valley High. Loved those books. Loved those books. Babysitter's Club, Series of Unfortunate Events was one and is still one of my favorite book series. I just think it is so clever and the writing is so clever. I just love it. I'd love to reread them because I love them so much. But that one might be the series that like this is cool. Reading is super cool. Question 6 is, what questions would you ask fellow booktubers? The big questions for me are, how do you balance everything? I'm still a college student and I'm about to, embark on a real job come next fall. So I'm like, how do I balance everything between wanting to do this and then also making sure that I balance school, work, life, and social world? And then also another question is, what equipment do I really need? Because right now this is my iPhone being used to film. I'm using my iPhone to film and it's sitting on a stack of books. I don't know what I actually need in regards to filming, so any ideas about that would be really helpful. Next question is, what challenges will be hardest with BookTube? For me, the biggest challenge I see is probably going to be kind of this comparison. I'm not somebody who has the time or right now the drive to really be reading 100 books a year. The highest amount of books I've ever read in a year is 42. I've only read 17 books this year for the year 2020, which is, on BookTube, that's not a lot to some people. There are people who do read like hundreds of books in a year. Well, probably not hundreds. I don't know, maybe hundreds. It's a lot of books. But I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. I'd like to read more and maybe build that up. I don't know if I'll ever get it to 100, but maybe like halfway there, going to 50. Maybe that could be a goal that I set for myself, read 50 books. But I just always feel like that, if I'm not reading enough, then no one would want to watch me, because what does my opinion matter? Because, I don't read 100 books, so I don't read enough books for people to pay attention, which isn't necessarily the case. Or like, I can't afford to buy mountains and mountains of books and do book hauls, so like that's not a video that you're going to see very often on this channel. That's what's going to be a challenge for me on a personal level, is like understanding that like everybody is different and everyone's setup is different and everyone has different interests and what they can do, and I think it's okay. I don't think we need to focus, or I don't need to focus on what I don't have. I need to focus on what I'm producing and what I'm doing. So that's gonna be a big challenge for me. So the next question is, when did you start reading? I didn't really get into reading until I was like upper elementary, middle school, 5th, 6th grade. That's when I really started reading, and that's when I fell in love with reading. I kind of fell off a little bit come like freshman year, sophomore year of high school, but junior year, senior year of high school, I was on my game. That's when I read my most books, I think it was my senior year of high school. I read 42 books that year, which is a lot for me. And I volunteered as a library aide in high school, and so I was able to read a lot during that period whenever I wasn't fixing books or helping librarians with whatever they needed. I loved my librarians in high school. They were amazing. And so I was able to read a lot of books. Now that I'm in college, it's definitely dwindled from when I was in high school, but I'm hoping to kind of pick that up again now that the semester is over. My next semester is just student teaching, so I'm not gonna have too much going on when it comes to assignments, just like a few things here and there. And so I'm hoping that will open up some time for me to read and make these fun videos. So the next question is, where do you read? I read just about anywhere and everywhere. I'm always carrying a book with me on the go, always trying to sneak in any amount of reading that I can throughout the day, so I always make sure I carry my book with me. But ultimately, anywhere that I can read. And the final question is, what kind of books do you read? I love to read historical fiction. Historical fiction is my favorite genre. I think that there's so many exciting different things, and especially whenever it's not just historical fiction focused on World War II. I've been getting into more obscure history, or more obscure historical fiction novels in that sense. I also really love memoirs. I love nonfiction. My favorite like niche genre of memoirs are like religious memoirs, or people who like have left religious situations. And of course I also read just general fiction. I love fiction books. I do read YA here and there. I love a good YA novel. I think I read it more than I do adult fiction, but I do love a good contemporary fiction novel. Yeah, so there's, I will read just about anything if it's interesting to me. I don't just try and stay within my like genres, but I have been working on being a little more adventurous with my reading, so I'm hoping to do that as well. This is the BookTube Newbie Tag. I am so excited to really get this channel running, get it started, and do some really fun things that I have planned with this channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!